The Good Buddies Anime Podcast is hosted by two rowdy, foul-mouthed American cowboys. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, Good Buddies, what's up? Welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Show. I am your Good Buddy Roger.
And I am your good buddy Brandon.
And if you're hearing this, you're watching the YouTube version of the show.
Indeed you are.
You are. We're breaking it apart into pieces to kind of close out the year. It's holiday season, stretched kind of thin, but we really, really appreciate you guys for hanging out with us for 2021. And it's been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just shitty's last year, but, you know, maybe 2022 be better, baby.
Let's hope so. There's always hope for tomorrow, and isn't that what this holiday season is all about? You know what else is about is a bunch of people shopping and pissing us off. So it's going to be rough, which is why these episodes are going to drop whenever they do, not on their normal days. They will get out when they get out. But thank you so much for sticking with us and dealing with our bullshit as we deal with everyone else's.
Enjoy the list.
Love ya.
End of the year, part 2.
We're back. We're doing it.
We got all the fun stuff.
Yes, we have our top 5 of the year. We're gonna do a little category work, and we got some randos for funsies, some little extra categories that we are gonna tell y'all about. So, I mean, do we just get right into it? Do we have anything else to say about it, my guy?
I mean, you gonna welcome them in?
I guess we said
let's do the voice.
Let's have a little fun. It's the top 5 of the year. We're here with the Good Buddies, yeah.
I can't harmonize if I don't know the words.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Mussolini!
Nope. You son of a bitch. Yes, we're here once again. We already did the like regular intro on the last one, so let's have fun with it. But point is, y'all, let's get to it. We did our intros. We did our top 5 intros. We did our top 5 outros.
Yeah.
We are here. We've talked about the music. We'll talk a little more about music. But now we are on to the proper, our personal favorites of the year. And we're just going to start with the big list, y'all. We count down so you don't have to. Here's our...
That's right.
Me and Roger, your good buddies, top 5s of the year. And do we want to... Like, here's the thing. When we do these reviews and stuff, it's always a review of recommendation. Do we, your good buddies, think you, our good buddies, should check out these shows? Here's the thing, though, for the list. I mean, obviously, that is something we take into consideration, is whether or not we think you'll enjoy these shows. But also, this one's for Brandon.
Yeah.
This one's for Brandon. Brandon's just gonna tell you what he liked.
Yeah.
And do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Dude,
man?
I'll go first.
All right, you take it first. So please tell us, in front of me, God, and the Good Buddies universe, what is your number 5 best anime of the year 2021?
My number 5 is When They Cry Satsu.
Very good.
The continuation of Gao. I tried to veer away from second seasons or movies or stuff, but it's really hard not to put this one on here, at least, you know, some point. So I ranked it at the very bottom. But damn, it's good. It's an excellent conclusion to the story they built whenever they, you know, did the remake for... It's not a remake. It's not a reboot. It's a continuation of When They Cry that nobody suspected or expected last year. And man, it was so awesome. And it has one of the, you know, some of the best mind games in the entire show. And it has one of the greatest fight scenes in there that I almost used for a category we have later. But I didn't want to spoil who it was between, so I left it out.
Okay.
I've been being very careful because I really want people to watch that, and I do not want to spoil any of it.
Yes, When They Cry is like one of your all-time most favoritists.
Yep.
I don't think it was your numberiest, oneiest, but it's fucking up there.
Yeah,
so
it's way up there.
To get a continuation this year was a big boon for you.
Yeah, and this was the essentially the answers to all the
questions
original.
that were presented by Gao, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And it's just, God, it was amazing to see, and they did so much justice to it.
All right.
I loved it. When They Cry Satsu, Higurashi Satsu, whatever you want to call it, is my number 5. Brandon, what is your number 5?
Baby, I had such a hard time narrowing it down to 5. I'm not gonna lie. It was very difficult for me. And there is one glaring omission from this one that, I mean, we'll have an honorable mention section. But my number 5, you know, I went with one that there's a certain type of show that we will review on the show and we will talk about in the rambles, and it always comes down to one fucking thing for me. Is like, my God, why is it slow? Why don't they just talk to each other? And I got one where they actually just talk to each other, and that is why my number 5 is Horimiya. Horimiya was so fucking good.
Yeah,
in terms of a romance show, a nice little slice of life love story. It sits apart, and I totally understand if you watch this show. I've seen where like people say, "Oh, I've read the manga and the manga's better." You know, this really rushes things. I'm like, I get that. I will never disagree. I will give you your opinion, but man, I just really liked that you actually got the story.
Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna read that manga. I'm especially not gonna read it right now. Because in the store, I haven't been able to order the number 1 for that manga, the number 2, the number 3, the number 4, the number 5, up to like number 11.
Can't get them.
In about 6 goddamn months.
Can't get the hose. Can't get them.
You can read it illegally, I guess, but I don't want to do that, and I don't want to read it anyway.
We want to support the creators.
I loved Horimiya.
Horimiya is very good.
Loved it.
It's a very, very good show. And then the supporting cast you get, just the colors of the everything, the art and animation, the style of it. It's a very stylish show. There are some bits where it gets a little weird. There's some kink stuff. I'm not gonna lie. There's some kink stuff. But it's just a really cute show. It's really fun. It is easily, I'll just say it's definitely my favorite romance of the year for sure.
Yeah.
In a year where I can think of a few other ones that were notable, but this was my favorite.
This was a good palate cleanser for another show.
Yeah, sure. For sure. But yes, my number 5 is Horimiya. What do you got for number?
Horimiya. It was very cute. That's why Horimiya was my number 4.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't talk about these. Beforehand.
We didn't. So it's
that's fun that they lined up a little bit.
Yeah. Horimiya, everything you said, dude. I loved it. It was a cute show. I couldn't recommend it enough to people.
Yeah.
I can't wait to. I've been telling people all year, whenever we could get the manga, I sold the hell out of it because it was easy for me to sell. Yeah. And people could tell that I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
And sometimes when you just really, really enjoy something, that alone, will get it into somebody's hands or have them check it out. Especially if they have the ability to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Horimiya, an amazing show.
Really cute.
Amazing
really
characters. Sweet. It's a win for sure. That's my number 4.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I tried to add a little padding in there, dude, so I'm going to pass it back to you.
All right. Well, number 4 for me is one that the only reason it is not higher on my list is because it is ongoing. And I said before, if one of these shows, like if it was Wonder Egg, if Wonder Egg was airing right now and it was up to episode 9, I'd probably say, yeah, it's the best of the year. But thank God we got the rest of it. Spoiler alert, Wonder Egg Priority is not on my top 5. But you know what is
that
a show,
the glaring omission?
That's not a glaring omission. Okay. Although, I mean, it is an omission, certainly. And I still think that show's amazing if you cut out the last couple episodes of the special.
Yeah.
I no one can tell me that's not a good show, but I can't, in all good conscience, put it on my top 5. But you know what did make my top 5? Although it is ongoing and has every opportunity to shit the bed, but if it doesn't, I'm coming back in a couple weeks to tell y'all it might be number 1. My number 4 is Ranking of Kings. An absolutely beautifully made program about a little boy who is the prince of this kingdom. His parents are actual giants. For some reason, he is a tiny little baby cinnamon roll who is not a giant. He's just a little bitty guy. He is a giant. He's got no strength. He's got nothing. He's just a little baby. And he's also fucking deaf and he can't talk, and it does a really cute way of like he can read lips and people do like use sign language for him. They are using what appears to be legitimate like Japanese sign language. I don't actually know. I haven't been able to like find anything about Japanese sign language really to confirm or deny this, but the show's really cute. It is, I've said it several times, but it's a little bit Game of Thronesy with the like who's going to end up on the throne, the betrayal, who's your friend, who's your enemy, who's really got your back, who's just here to like, push themselves forward, that kind of stuff. And I'm talking like good Game of Thrones, not those last couple seasons, the good ones. The good ones. Kat was watching Game of Thrones when I walked in here to record this. You know what? There's good ones.
Was it one of the good ones that she was watching?
I mean, it looked like a good one. I haven't seen the show in a while, but I really love Ranking of Kings. Just take take basically, and again, maybe I'm hyping it up a little bit, but take basically a good Game of Thrones storyline and then throw in a sweet little baby who is your main character and is a very good boy. And that's Prince Boji, and he wants to be the king, and I stan this short king. Thank you.
Okay.
That's my number 4.
Okay.
What do you got for number 3, big boy?
Dude, I almost thought we were going to line up
I think I know what your number 3 is because your eyes lit up when I said ongoing.
Yeah.
So go ahead and lay it on us.
It's a Vampire Dies in No Time.
It's a very good show.
I love this show. My wife loves this show. We love this show together.
Me and Haley have been watching it. It's very funny.
It's fucking hilarious. And when that dub comes out, I'm going to watch it dub.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it again. I want to watch it again.
God, dude, this show cracks me up. Once again, it's ongoing. I feel like it's done enough that
I think so. You're not caught up. I think we got the last one.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, okay.
I think we got the last one. So I won't spoil anything, obviously.
Okay. Man, it's such a good show.
It's very cute.
It's really funny. It's got some of the, it's got 2 characters in it that are glued together by another character, and they all 3. I don't know that any individual, except for maybe one, would work anywhere else.
Mm.
But them together, it just works so well.
Yeah.
The show is hilarious. It's witty. It teeters right on that line of, is this about to be some hot trash?
And sometimes it's a little trash.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little.
But you know what it is? It's always hot and it's always funny.
Yeah, and you know what? And they own it every time too. It's not like it's ashamed of what it does.
Yeah, sometimes it's hot. It is a little hot trash, but it's also very funny.
Yeah, it's a great show. The Vampire Dies in No Time.
It's very funny.
If you have not watched it, you need to. You will hear about it again in my awards.
Yes, there's the quick pitch is like, you got a vampire hunter, you got a super weak vampire, and his familiar who is a armadillo named John.
A 3-banded armadillo.
A sweet little baby named John the Armadillo. Who is basically perfect.
John Madillo.
Madillo. I tip my fedora. Madillo.
Mr. Madillo.
Yes, it's very good.
Vampire Dies in No Time is my number 3. Brandon, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is one that it's from this past season, and I will admit it may be a little bit daunting. I talked about it briefly before, but my number 3 is the Heike story. The Heike story is a little bit daunting to get into because, as I said before, this is something that is ingrained in.
Is this one ongoing as well?
No, it's finished.
Okay.
This one is finished. It is very much a huge part of Japanese culture. Like, they study this shit in school. Like, it is a very famous story that was told over several hundreds of years and whatnot. And there have been many adaptations. I kind of want to read the actual book now. Like, it's really fascinating, the twists and turns that this thing takes. But it is the story of this very powerful clan who call themselves Heike, not because that's their actual name, but because it was a big thing and they use the same characters and stuff. They're like, fuck it, we're the Heike. That's what we're called. That's our nickname. And basically these guys run the country more or less, or the area, and they pretty much are like kind of a gang. Because the guy who runs the Heike, the head of the Heike, Daddy Heike, he don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, those monks.
Don't give a damn.
I'm sorry, those monks were talking shit. Fuck those monks. It's like, those are monks, dude. You can't burn down a town. I don't give a fuck. So he does. But the whole thing centers around a character for this show named Biwa, who is a small girl. She played a Biwa. And the whole thing is about her and her ability to foresee disaster, and she sees the end of the Heike coming, and the whole show is just her watching it happen, more or less. She is like your outside observer watching it happen, and it can be a little confusing. It was for me because it's one of those that it assumes you already know some of the story basically, and just goes from there. But my God, it's such a pretty show. It's very beautiful. It's the same studio that did Devilman Crybaby. And oh God, I don't have it in front of me, but the writer, I believe, is the lady who did what was it? Was it A Silent Voice? I forget. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it. I can't remember. There goes my anime card. But point is, it's got a fucking pedigree. It's a beautiful show. It's absolutely amazing. And there's these really great scenes that are interspersed throughout each episode where it cuts to a character which appears to be Biwa, but like with white hair and in a red robe playing her instrument and reciting actual lines from like the actual poetry of the story. And it's fucking intense and it's so pretty. FalKKone story is really fucking good, y'all. And if you can watch like 2-3 episodes and feel like, hey, this looks pretty cool, let me stick with it, you are not going to be disappointed. I will say again, it gets pretty real dark in those last couple episodes. It gets real dark, y'all, real dark. But it's also very good and just a very beautiful story that's all about just like seeing it happen and being there. And, you know, to paraphrase a line from a goddamn musical that was very popular, it's all about who lives, who dies, and who tells your story. And that is what this is. It's her seeing it and telling the story. And it's very good. It's just a really fucking good show all around. Check out the FalKKone story. It's on Funimation. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That is my number 3. Roger.
My number 2.
All right.
I struggled with 1 and 2. I had to think about it for at least a couple of days.
Same. Same, bro.
But ultimately, whenever everything kind of settled out, I put Megalobox 2 as my number 2.
Okay.
Because it's the second part.
It is the second part. So I will, real quick, I will note, you may notice, I never do sequels for my top 5s of the year.
Yeah.
I will do it for other categories, but not for my top 5.
Yeah.
That's just a personal rule. If I did, Megalobox probably would make the list. I mostly do that because it's very hard to narrow it down to 5, and it's even harder when I include sequel series.
Yeah.
But yes, Nomad's amazing.
Nomad is so good. It's everything that the first series was a sports anime. Mm-hmm. This one was just an anime. That was amazing.
Yeah.
The story of Joe coming to, you know, what I assume might be its conclusion. I don't know if they're going to do a part 3 or not.
Maybe. I'll watch it if they do.
Oh, God, I will too. But, man, I feel like there is some more story to tell, but if they didn't want to, it ended perfectly fine. The show was amazing. It was heartfelt. There was emotion. There was incredible characters. The animation, of course, it had that scratchy style and it looked so good.
But they turn it on when they need to.
Yeah,
and there's a couple times when they turn it on.
Yep. Sachio, killer performance
Sachio's
in there.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, is he Hook?
Yeah, he's Hook, dude. I don't know. Hook whipped the little ass.
Hook's probably a better fighter than
Sachio got
Sachio.
his ass whipped a lot.
He ain't got it. He ain't got the eye of the tiger. That's the problem.
But the characters you meet in here, it's so easy to bond to them. It's so easy to understand and want to see them overcome their struggle.
Yes.
Whenever a character, you know, that you think is going to be secondary, even they do such a good job of building that character with what time they have, that if, you know, something happens to them or something, it is still a devastating blow to you. And watching the show, I was on the edge of my seat every single week for this show. It was truly an amazing show.
Yeah.
And I mean, Megalobox, the first season, is for sure worth watching. We loved it. We loved it here at the Good
Love
Buddy.
us some Megalobox.
But damn, that second part it blows it out of the water.
Yeah, man.
It is so good. And I couldn't not have it, you know, in my number list because it was, well, A, I didn't watch as many anime as Brandon, and B, it just was that good. It deserves to be here. You can argue whether or not, you know, When They Cry deserves to be here.
Sure.
But it's really hard to argue that Megalobox shouldn't make the list. I feel like you could go into 2 and still really enjoy it without even seeing 1.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like they give you just enough of the backstory from 1 that it carries over.
Yep. It's just an amazing show. Megalobox 2 is my number 2.
It's very, very
Brandon,
good.
what is your number 2?
My number 2, and I also absolutely really hard struggle with my top 2. Really, really hard. And I fear that I may be undercutting your number 1 a little bit when I say that my number 2 is Sunny Boy.
There's nothing better than you're just wrong.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm just kidding. I'm excited to hear what your number 1 is. Yeah, Sunny Boy is my number 1.
Okay, Sunny Boy is an incredible show. with a just...
It's like I would almost put it as a once in a decade show.
Yeah, it's just so strange. So here's the thing, is what you know about Brandon is he loves sad shit and he loves weird shit. And this show has a little sad and a lot of weird, y'all. It's just
very experimental,
so strange and so wonderful, and it's one that really did stick with me. But I'm gonna let you take the bulk of the discussion about Sonny Boy, because there was one show that for me did stand above it. But go ahead and tell me about Sonny Boy, man. That's your number one?
Yep. Sonny Boy it's wild, it's weird, and at points it doesn't make a lot of sense, and then at other points it does make a lot of sense. It's something that I would recommend that whatever that episode is trying to tell you, you take it at face value and don't look at it as an overall thing. It is very experimental. They're trying to do something here beyond just tell a story. It's like they're trying to weave like true, honest feelings into this story. It's like they're trying to put out another way, a truly creative and unique way of a coming of age.
Yeah.
Of kids coming into the world. And it exceeds on all levels. The show is beautiful to look at. The show is weird to look at. It's beautiful to listen to and understand.
It is sometimes disturbing. It is sometimes disturbing.
Yeah. It is outright disturbing at times.
Yeah.
It is outright sad at times. It is just, there's something incredible about it. It's hard to really nail down what makes this. It's like watching Fooly Cooley for the first time or the second time, and you know that it's an awesome show, but it's hard to know exactly why it's so awesome. It's not just the sum of its parts where it's got good animation, great music. There are characters there that somebody, geniuses had to come up with how well they put this stuff together.
Shout out to my boy Rajdani.
Yeah.
Love Rajdani.
He is truly a genius in the show.
So good.
And it has a good amount of representation too. There's no complaint that I have for Sonny Boy. The only thing that I could, say, and I would not complain about this, is maybe it wouldn't be for everybody, because some people just don't want Strange. Yeah. They just want Goku to hit things.
We talk about, like, if you may have seen a movie, like when people say an art house movie or something, it's really hard for me to not describe Sonny Boy as an art house anime. It is definitely not something that everybody is going to be into, and that's not to say that your tastes are wrong or bad, but if you are willing to give it a chance, you are going to watch it.
Your tastes are wrong and bad.
That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
But if you are willing to give it a chance, I promise you're gonna have something in here is gonna hit you.
Yeah, something in here is probably gonna hit you hard.
It's a really good.
And
show.
by the end of the show, you're so attached to the characters. That's what really catches me in an anime. Is how well do I attach myself to these characters?
Yeah, I get you.
And by the end of it, I loved almost all of the characters, or at least the ones that I didn't love. I was curious about them. I wanted to know where they were going to go. I wanted to know if they were going to have a redemption arc. I wanted to know if they were good or they were bad. I wanted to know if they were truly that smart. Everything, every little detail they put in the show was covered in love, and I loved it back. I thought it's one of the best shows that I've ever seen.
It's really good.
Yep.
It's a very, very good show.
That's why it's my number one. Brandon, what on earth could have beat Sonny Boy?
I gotta tell you, man, I told you it was really hard for me to pick between the two. And ultimately, I went with a different show as my number one. And my number one is one that I'm begging you to watch, and I really want you to watch it. And I'm fully prepared.
You swear me for a second. You said, whenever you said one, I thought you were going to just say Wonder Egg Priority.
What if I did?
I was
After I swore it wasn't. That's not even a swear. If I would have just lied to you. You almost shit yourself.
Yeah.
No. Mine is one that I want you to watch it, Roger. I want everyone to watch this show because I really do think it's that good. And I'm fully prepared for you to, 3 months from now, come into a ramble and say, hey, by the way, I watched that show. I like it a lot. No, it's good as Sonny Boy. And I'm like, that's fine. But for me, my number one is Odd Taxi.
Oh, okay.
Odd Taxi is a show that really takes... So we talk about a show being beautiful to look at, having good music, all that stuff. But in the end of the day, the storytelling and the characters are what are driving this thing. And I really can't think of a show that has as good character development and just storytelling as Odd Taxi. It really, really, really just goes deep on these characters, because that's what it's about. It's a walrus who drives a cab. And when you drive a cab, like if you've seen Taxi Driver, even freaking, what was that weird movie with the fucking orb, Phantasmagoria or something? I don't remember. But like, there's a whole thing in there about a taxi driver. It's always like these just boring, seemingly boring, and yet mindful at times discussions that they have with their patrons. And you take all that, wrap around it this mystery of a missing girl, and like, what is our dude doing, and what is he involved in this? Is he not involved in this? How deep does this go? And all these different characters that come around that are now rotating and orbiting around this story, and it ties it all together. I really like, it's pretty rare that you get such a good mystery that also ties up everything perfectly. And more than that, the thing that really pushes it over the edge, and I cannot talk about this because it's such a huge spoiler, is how it uses the medium to fucking fool you. It so perfectly takes this show. It is a cartoon about animals in a city, and that's what it is. Right?
Right.
Sure.
Right?
And then it takes everything you think you know about that and uses it to pull the wool over your eyes and fool you into believing what it's telling you, when it's actually telling you what's really happening the whole time. And I can't explain that unless you see the show. But yes, it's absolutely wonderful. And it is one of those things that you can absolutely pick up on what's happening. And I did, like, maybe 5-6 episodes in, I like really started to like realize what was going on. And by the end of it, when it tells you, here you go, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's like having a wonderful little puzzle that you are fucking with and full. It's like doing a Rubik's Cube while you're watching this show. And it's just, as you're doing it, you're starting to pick up on little hints. And then by the end of it, when it's solved, you say, my God, how did it all come together so perfectly? And then it gives you this little bit at the very fucking end where it's like, are we done? Maybe. It really is amazing. And I can't talk about it anymore without like just spoiling everything. So I won't. Please watch Odd Taxi. It's incredible. It's also one of the very few shows that managed to actually put the title of the show into the show and make it, one, pretty funny, and also not super cheesy. Literally, they have a whole scheme to do this criminal thing, and the dude's like, this is my big plan. It all centers around you and your cab. I call it Odd Taxi. Oh, that's the name of the show. It's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. Please watch Odd Taxi. And that is my number one.
Excellent, dude.
That's
it
it
is
for
something
me.
that I am intending to watch.
I really want everyone to watch it.
will
I understand
watch,
everyone
and
won't.
it's not going to be like, it's not 50 episodes. It's like 12.
No, it's like 12 episodes, and it's very good.
Yeah, but it's doable.
It's very, very good. And with that,
excellent,
baby, that's our top fives. If you were both just here for our number one animes of the year, that's totally cool. I do not begrudge you for bonking on out, but we got a few more to talk about. Let's get weird.
Yes.
Let's talk about.
Let's see how many of these that I repeat.
Okay,
most of them.
feel like there'll be a couple. Did you like that?
I liked it.
Did you?
I liked it. Thanks for watching, good buddies. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
Later.